Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel today. My name is Christian and today we are back with part 2 of my top 20 albums of 2016, and we're going to be counting down my number 10 down to my number 1, and then at the end of the video I'm going to be giving you some honorable mentions from the other 20 albums that didn't make my top 20. So I'll be giving you a couple of honorable mentions, including one that would have made this list if I hadn't already put the list together before I listened to it this week. So let's get straight into it with my number 10 pick.
I'm standing in the way again. I can't see the road ahead.
In at number 10 is Every Time I Die with their new record Low Teens, a riff monster of a record from one of the most consistent bands in rock music. This record is a brilliant example of a band who are at the peak of their powers, doing what they do best while experimenting with new sounds at the same time. Vocalist Keith Buckley is indescribably incredible throughout this entire record and really shows why he's one of the best vocalists in heavy music. His voice is absolutely incredible, his screams are brutal, but the real standout is just how brilliant his clean vocals are. I was first introduced to Keith Buckley the first time I ever heard him sing was in his side project The Damn Things, and so when I chucked on Every Time I Die for the first time I was shocked to see how well he could scream, but for me his clean vocals stand out the most. This album hits you and doesn't let go even after it's finished playing, and it truly is one of the best of the year. There are just so many brilliant songs.
No, I won't quit, get over it, you'll never win.
Coming in at number 9 is Of Mice and Men with their new record Cold World. So this is a record that has divided a lot of people, but for me, I don't really understand it. I get that there's a lot of experimentation on this record, but for me, I love it. A lot of people haven't been on board with their change in sound ever since The Flood, and for me, I just think it highlights how great their songwriting ability is. There is so much variety on this record, from softer alt rock songs like Down the Road to brutal, heavy, new metal, bouncy songs like Pain. This is a record that I'm constantly going back to. I'm listening to it once or twice a month, and for me, I really like how the experimentation sounds on this record, and I really think it works for what Of Mice and Men are. Austin Carlisle cements himself as the driving force of Mice and Men on this record, and this is his best vocal performance to date, and overall the record is really, really impressive.
Now let go of your senses and let go of your sight. We already know the message is gone. Can we lighten the strain?
Coming in at number 8 is Periphery with Periphery 3 Select Difficulty. This was the record that shocked me the most this year, as I've never been the biggest fan of Periphery. I was a modest fan of their last double album Juggernaut. I thought there were some good songs on there. I did think if they just combined those two records into one record and taken out some of the filler, it would have been a much better record, but going into this record I didn't really have any expectations. But this record shows that a lot of bands build up to doing something to their true potential, and that is absolutely true for Periphery. The songs on this record are absolutely incredible, and the thing that stands out the most to me on this record is the guitar playing. But the guitar playing is not just shredding just to shred and show off how good they are. Every single part is there to elevate the song and there to service the song and make it as good as it possibly can be. This is a record that every heavy music fan should listen to, and I think will find enjoyment in. I absolutely love it. Coming in at number 7 is the comeback record from Blink-182 titled California. Here we are with one of the most anticipated records of 2016, paying off in the best way possible. Unlike a lot of people, I was really excited when Blink announced that Tom was no longer in the band, and even more excited when they said that Matt Skiba, one of my favorite songwriters of all time, was joining Blink. As I said, Skiba is one of my favorite songwriters of all time, and he added so much to this record, especially vocally. The choruses throughout this entire record are absolutely incredible, and the record has an old school Blink feel while still sounding updated and fresh. This record isn't just a nostalgia trip. There are new things going on all the way throughout this record. Throughout this entire record, it's got a lot of songs on here, but I couldn't wipe the smile off my face whenever I listen to this record, and I absolutely love it. Coming in at number 6 is Weezer with their record, The White Album. I know it's self-titled, but I'm just going to call it The White Album. Another massive surprise for this year was Weezer releasing an incredible record, the best record they've released in fucking forever, and it was just as I was starting to give up on the band. The band are back with songs that are quirky and nerdy, but relatable lyrically in a very interesting and unique way. It's a perfect summer album with some absolutely massive choruses, most notably LA Girls and Summer Lane and Drunk Dory. Rivers Cuomo puts on an incredible vocal performance, and his guitar solos all the way throughout this record really elevate every section that he does one in, and just are so melodic and so great. This record is so much fun to listen to and keeps you smiling throughout its entire duration, and has the song stuck in your head long after the record is finished playing through.
I swear to God, she's not in my list. She never was. Why do you bother giving her your time? She's not worth mine. I will. If you want to, I'll call her.
Coming in at number 5 is Moose Blood with their sophomore album, Blush. This was another record that I had really high expectations for, and boy did Moose Blood deliver. They've really taken themselves to another level on this record. I really like their first record, but on this record, Blush, Moose Blood take what they did on that first record and just elevate it to a completely another level. These songs are emotional and relatable while still being fun and enjoyable. It's not all fun though. There are some sad, emotional songs on this record, but they really add another layer to the songwriting on this record. This record takes you on an emotional roller coaster, and Blush really, really delivers. Coming in at number 4 is Let Live with their new record, If I'm the Devil. Let Live are back with their third incredible record in a row, and this one as just another layer of sound to the Let Live catalogue. This is a very different record for Let Live. It's a lot more groove driven and chorus driven, much more than their past 2 records have been. Jason Butler is absolutely incredible on this record, and he really shows why he's one of the best vocalists in rock music. He can go from sounding like this really angry dude to sounding like Michael Jackson in parts. This continues onto his lyrics as well, which are poetic and emotional in only the way that Jason can do it. This record is so unique and has so many different sides to it. I can't imagine a rock fan not putting this record on and absolutely loving it like I do. Coming in at number 3 is Issues with Headspace. The first Issues record was my number 1 album of 2014, so this record had a lot to live up to. And hey, it's coming at number 3 on this list, and so you may think that this record was a step down from the self-titled one, but it absolutely wasn't. This year's just been ridiculous. Issues experimented a lot with their sound on this record, and I really think they pulled it off in the best way possible, and I love every single song on this record. Songs like Slow Me Down, Hero, and Home Soon are some of my favorites, but really overall this record is incredible. So many incredible massive choruses and mind-blowing performances by every member of the band. This record is absolutely great. Go and listen to it. It's a very different record from what's usually in that Warped Tour medical scene, so definitely go and listen to it. It is fantastic. Coming in at number 2 is Avenged Sevenfold with their new record, The Stage. This is an album which has divided a lot of people, and it is a grower of a record. It's really got a lot of depth to it, but for me, it was perfect upon first listen. Avenged are one of the best bands on the planet, and this record is their most experimental and progressive record to date. This record is incredibly diverse, and vocally, this is the best M Shadows has sounded since the White Album. This record is a complete journey throughout its duration, and it's actually a record that I'd love to see the band play from start to finish live. And the record is so theatrical that them playing it start to finish live would fit in so well with their live show and would be an absolutely amazing thing to see. This record is absolutely incredible and exactly what I wanted from a new Avenged record, while still throwing things at me that I didn't expect. And now it's time. My number one pick is...
A sickness with no remedy. Stop the words inside of me. You ever wonder how deep you can sink into nothing at all? This is a cry. Annihilate me.
That's right, my number one record of the incredible year that was 2016 is Architects with their record All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us. The first time I heard this record, I knew it was going to be hard to top. I didn't think another record was going to do it, and while some records did come close, this record has not moved from number one on my list since I first heard it. This record is so emotional, musically challenging, lyrically poetic, and the overall musicianship on the record is really something to behold. This record was already perfect for me, but the sad passing of Tom Searle really added another level of emotion to the record for me, and I started to connect with it a lot more. This is the perfect record to cement Tom Searle's legacy, and while this record is now very hard to listen to, there is so much emotion that I feel when listening to every single song. This record would still be incredible without Memento Mori being on this record, but having that song there as the closer to this record just takes this record to another level, and it is such an emotional moment. I love this record more than I ever thought I could, and if this is unfortunately the last record we ever get from Architects, then thank you Architects for leaving us with an incredible work of art, and rest in peace Tom Searle. As I've said in other videos already, you are deeply missed, and heavy music won't be the same without you. Alright, so that is my top 20 albums of 2016. What an incredible year. I've already heard a record from next year that just is looking like 2017 is going to be just as incredible as 2016 was. There are so many records that are coming out next year that I cannot wait to listen to. And now I'm going to throw in some honorable mentions to finish off this video, but there is one honorable mention that I really need to give massive praise to, and that is the new record from Black Peaks titled Statues. This is a record that came out much earlier this year, but I never got around to listening to it, and finally this week I went and listened to it, and it would have been very high in my top 20 if I'd heard it earlier and I hadn't already put this list together. This record is absolutely incredible. I implore you to go and listen to it. It's heavy but melodic and beautiful, and is just so revolutionary and has so much great qualities to it. It's progressive while being post-hardcore. It's kind of like they've got the promise that Alexis on Fire did when their first record came out, but this record is better than that. It's just incredible. Go and check out that album. And here are some more honorable mentions. And that's the video. Let me know what your guys' top 20 of the year was down below. What did you think of my list? Remember, this is all my opinion, but honestly, I think that all the records on this list are incredible. They're my favorite of the year. I can't stop listening to them. It's hard for me to go back now and listen to records from past years just because I've got so much music from this year that I love and I just keep going back to. So, an incredible year for music, the best year for rock music in my opinion, a decade. Definitely go and check out these records if you hadn't listened to them. And hey, please hit subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Fresh Currents.